boys and girls. Today I'm going to be reading you a story called It's Great to Be Kind by Jordan Collins. Good morning, class, said the lion with a roar. The children laughed. They knew it was just their teacher, Miss Clayton, in a costume. Welcome to dress-up day, Miss Clayton said, here in her regular voice. Please take turns telling us about your costumes. Oh, wow. Look at all the different costumes for their dress-up day. Carly showed off her dragon costume. Emily said, I like your spiky tail. Thanks, I made it myself, said Carly. Wow, very sparkly. Jack spun around so everyone could see his superhero cape. My dad sewed this from curtains, he said proudly. If anybody wants to try it on later, they can. Wow, that's very nice. So she used some sparkly stuff to make her tail, and he used a curtain. Very nice. They created their own. Conor went next. He put on a golden crown. I am a king, he said. I know all about king stuff. That's a fabulous costume, said Mrs. Conor. Thanks. He thought to himself, I'm going to love being the king. Kings are in charge of everything. So there's his crown. And there's his teacher telling him how nice his crown is. Let's see what happens with that crown. Soon it was time for reading group. Conor saw Jack reading a book about wolves. I want that book, said Conor. I'm reading it right now, said Jack. You can read it next. Kings don't wait, Conor said, and he took the book away from Jack. Uh-oh. So, do you think that was a very nice tone that he talked to Jack in? And what about telling him he wanted that book and he wanted it now and he taking it away? Do you think that was very nice of him? I don't think so either. At lunch, Conor pushed to the front of the line. Hey, that's not fair, said Emily. Go wait your turn. I can do whatever I want. I am the king, said Conor. He raised his head in the air and he ignored all his friends. Wow, he thinks just because he's wearing the crown, he can walk to the front of the line. It's not okay. I'm a queen, but I'm not breaking any rules, said Emily. You're not a queen, Conor said. You don't even have a crown. Queens have crowns, said Conor. Uh-oh. Do you think that's very nice the way he's talking to Emily? And telling her she's not a queen just because she does not have a crown? Uh-oh. Emily bursted into tears. Uh-oh. Look at Emily. She looks very, very, very sad. Oh, that's not okay. It's okay, Emily, Abby said. I think your costume is beautiful, even without a crown. Then Abby turned to Conor and said, You shouldn't be making people cry. It's not kind. Kings are allowed to be mean, said Conor. Still, he felt bad as he watched Emily wiping her tears. So her friend is sticking up for her and telling him that he's not being very nice. After lunch, Miss Clayton asked the class to split into some groups to make finger paint pictures. Everybody teamed up. Tia, Sean, and Carly were one team. Ryan, Abby, and Sophie were another team. And Jack and Emily were another team. Conor was the only one without a group. He felt sad and he felt lonely. Why do you think they didn't want to be in Conor's group? Do you think that he could have been a little bit nicer to his friends? I think so. Conor, you can work with Jack and Emily, said Mrs. Clayton. Why didn't you pick me? Conor asked Jack and Emily. I thought we were all friends. We are friends, Jack said, but you're not being very kind today. I'm just doing what kings do, Conor said. So they already said they didn't want him part of it because he was not being very nice to them today. Who said kings can't be kind? Emily said. And anyways, you are not a real king. Conor shrugged his shoulders. His face felt hot. His stomach started to hurt. Emily and Jack just moved to a different table. They still didn't want Conor on their team. So do you think that Emily and Jack are telling the truth? That he needs to be nice? They're saying that they're still his friend. They just don't want them in his group right now because he is not being very kind. Conor realized he's been unkind and very bossy all day. He'd hurt everybody's feelings, pretending to be a king. Now he felt very bad. His friends were upset with him, and he had nobody to play with. Dress-up day just wasn't fun anymore. Look at everybody having fun, finger painting, except for Conor. He looks very, very upset. But at least he's realizing what he's doing. Conor walked over to Jack. I took the book you were reading, he told Jack, and that was not very kind. I am sorry. He handed the book to Jack and he said, next time I will wait my turn. Thanks, said Jack. Oh, you're welcome, said Conor, and he stood a little taller. When he told him that, and they say he stood a little taller because when he was being mean, he felt sad and he was like this. But when he went to go apologize, he felt a little bit better. And so he got up and he stood taller. Then Conor found Emily. I shouldn't have made fun of your costume. I'm sorry, said Conor. This is for you. He gave his crown to Emily. Emily clapped her hands with delight. It goes with my costume, she said, as she put it on. Thank you. You're the kindest king in the world, said Emily. So was that very nice of him to do? He's realizing that he should have been nicer to his friends. Because sometimes when we're mean to our friends, they're not going to want to be our friends anymore because they're going to not want to be friends with mean kids. So he's realizing and he's apologizing. And he is sharing because he made the crown and she didn't have one, so he let her borrow it. That was very nice of Conor. Even though he wasn't really a king, Conor felt like royalty. When his friends thanked him, no costume could make Conor feel better than this. It felt very good to be kind. Now his friends were happy, and so was Conor. The end. Well, thank you, boys and girls, for listening, and I hope you enjoyed this story about being kind.